Hi, this is Suraj Unleashing Talent, and welcome to another podcast. And today we would talk about the change in the organizational context. Changes happen and it has an impact on you as an individual. There are individuals who cope up with the change easily. There are individuals who have difficult times coping with the change, and sometimes individuals just don't cope up with the change and move away. Now, the organization has the need for the change because the outside world is changing, the economic situation is changing, the business scenarios are changing, the customers' strategies are changing, the customer needs are changing. So, the strategic business plans are aligned to the organizational strategic planning and organizational vision to sustain and exist and thrive. And that's how organizations function, and that's how the strategic planning for the organization happens. Based on that strategic planning, there are certain changes that are brought into the organization, and these changes are definitely good for the organization's sustainability and existence. It is important for the employees of that organization, and it is important for the stakeholders of the organization. But if that change process is not done well, it might impact the stakeholders, and as a result of that, the organization might get a hit on the profitability or the revenue. So if you look at the organizational alignment, right from the employees to the organizational goals, operations and delivery, and all different components of the organization need to get centralized and aligned to the vision and the business plan of the organization and the strategy to accomplish those business plans. And henceforth, if that alignment happens and if everyone is communicated and responsibilities are distributed and people are prepared in what we call the organizational readiness, and that means your systems are ready, your tools are ready, your people are ready, your employees are ready, your customers are ready, your organization is ready to embrace that change and get into the next leap. If that is the situation, then you initiate the change process. Still remember, when the change happens, it is difficult, especially for people, and customers are people, employees are people. So it has an impact on people. Not everyone copes up. So you have to have a very strong plan for communication. You also have to safeguard most importantly, the employees who have their families to manage, and if they are under threat or under stress, they would not be able to perform, and that would eventually hit the organization. A robust change management process would ensure the safeguard of each stakeholder. And then you start the unfreezing process of the organization, which basically would mean your processes would change, your policies will change, your systems will change, your way of working would change, the goals would change, the KPIs will change, the KRAs will change, and over the period of time, these changes would happen. There will be successes, there will be failures, and in the process, leaders have the greatest responsibilities to remain in constant touch with their employees and the stakeholders and the process owners, and continuously guide them and align them to the larger purpose of the organization. So change is inevitable. That's number one. Number two, it's not easy to initiate a change if your organization is not ready, stakeholders are not. And one of the ways stakeholders are ready is when stakeholders feel their benefit out of the change that's happening. And that happens only when there is a proper communication and buy-in and developing confidence in people, and developing people to cope up with. If these things are taken care, you as a leader would do a great job in initiating any change process. So the one way employees look at change as something that would devastate them, on the other side they can look at it as something that would benefit each one of them individually. So, as a leader, it is your responsibility to get the organization ready, get yourself ready, get your employees ready, and initiate that change process. Continue to communicate with employees, inform employees, make them aware of the advantages and the profits and the benefits of those changes, and lead the change. So I think this smart discussion would help you understand at a very high level what change is, how painful change is, and how change could become a very memorable journey for all the stakeholders, something that you will remember or recall and cherish for all your life. You could actually turn out to be an inspirational leader while initiating and leading a change within your department or within your organization. I hope this podcast was helpful to you. This podcast was brought to you and sponsored by the Insera Group of Companies. We are thankful to Abdul Rashid, the Managing Director and the CEO of the Insera Group of Companies. Thank you.